This is Dylan Bowker with Sportskeeda MMA, and very excited to be talking to an individual ready to make his pro boxing debut, which goes down June 8th in Qatar. And a lot going on, a matchup that's been discussed for many years up until this point. Former lineal and WBO heavyweight champion Shannon Briggs is going to be stepping into the ring with Quinton Rampage Jackson, and great getting to have Rampage on the show. How's your day going so far there, man?
Not bad. It's a beautiful day. How's yours?
It's not quite a beautiful day. It's a little bit rainy, but I mean, I don't mind a rainy day. So just good to hear you're doing good though.
Oh yeah. I'm doing good. I'm in sunny California, baby. It was rainy yesterday though, but today is a good day.
And it would seem like a good day just in the career in general, because this is a fight that's been discussed for quite a while now. And I mean, it seemed like it came together fairly quickly with this Qatar card coming up. And from what I was gleaning from the promoters, it seemed like Zab Judah kind of played a role in things coming together. Like, can you give the backstory on how this fight finally got locked in?
Oh yeah. So Shannon told me one day, he just texted me and said, "Hey, I finally got us a fight." Because I'm an MMA guy. I'm not used to putting on my own show, my own fight, nothing like that. So I put it in his hands. It's been a long time coming. And he said, my boy Zab Judah know these guys out in Qatar, Mr. Osama and SDK said they're willing to put on the fight. They're very interested. They're fight fans and they're smart businessmen and they know how to get it done. I was like, all right, sign me up.
It's kind of an interesting dynamic because I was talking to like both of the promoters the other day, and like one of them asked me, he's like, "Oh, I hope you're on our side," and I was kind of confused. It seems like there's almost like an MMA and a boxing kind of component in that kind of sense, so that's kind of interesting, I suppose.
Yeah. So I deal with SDK. Me and him, we talk, and Shannon deal with Osama. So it's a boxing side and it's an MMA side, and all the MMA guys report to SDK, and all the boxers report to Osama. Like, we don't know what they got going on, but it's definitely split. What I'm saying? It's like one of the fights where which promoter wants you to win and which promoter wants you to lose. So I like it this way. It should forever be this way. What I'm saying? You divide it, on different sides, blue corner, red corner.
And did it ever?
It seems like a friendly rival between those.
Yeah, no, it didn't seem like mean spirited per se. It seemed kind of playful, large in part. But was this like a fight that you, I guess, always thought would come to fruition? Because I mean, there was even prior points like where you guys were on the respective like triad combat teams, kind of helming those different units. And I mean, that was a bit ago at this point. Like, did it ever get to any point where you were kind of thinking, maybe this fight might not come to fruition, or was there always that kind of faith that it would, materialize?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was about to give up. I'm not gonna lie, because we've been trying to do this for a while, and if I'm gonna speak frankly and be 100% here, in my opinion, I think what went on with the triad people or the Triller, I was kind of duped a little bit, because Shannon and I had this idea of boxers versus MMA, and Shannon went and talked to Triller, and that's how we got over there. They just used us as team captains. We had plenty of time to get in shape, and I would have liked to fought him under those rules. So I wanted to get my first boxing match out the way. To be honest, so I would have rather my first boxing match to be in the ring and with the boxing gloves and stuff like that. But that was a cool little concept that Triad did. But in my opinion, I felt like Shannon went over there and said too much, so they kind of copied our idea, but made it a little bit better, made it their own. Which is like, I'm not mad at them for it and everything. And they threw us a bone by having us be like they having us be the team captains and stuff, which was cool. And I just want to make the point it out here that MMA came out victorious, and we beat the boxers, in points. And so, after that, nothing else. We didn't hear nothing back from Triller, and I don't know if Triller did any more shows and stuff since then. And after that, I kind of gave up.
Yeah, and it seems like you and Shannon have like good rapport with each other and everything like that. Like, what are your thoughts? I mean, it seems like you guys have like a playful dynamic, as I kind of said, but like, I guess, what are your thoughts on his overall resume and like some of the better skills you might have seen that he has, I guess?
All right. I'm gonna be honest. Shannon, I think he's a worthy adversary. He's very funny, and he needs to grow up though. He's too old to be playing as much as he played. I thought I was silly till I met him, and honestly, I think I met my match. I'm not saying he's funnier than me. He's most definitely sillier than me, and what I'm saying. I wonder. It makes me wonder, like, what my opponents thought about when I was trolling them. If they think the same way I think about him, I think he's a clown, and he's gonna get dealt with on June 8th. But what I'm saying, at times I think he's very funny, and then sometimes I think he's super annoying. Because if I have to listen to "Let's Go Champ" over and over when I go to Qatar for the press conference, I don't know what I might do. I might get up and just smack him in the face or something. I don't know. I'm just tired of hearing "Let's Go Champ." But his record and stuff like that, it looked like he's just like the average boxer who padded their record fighting journeymen in the beginning of their career and just fighting a bunch of nobodies. I think that's unfair. Just beating up on nobodies, and then I learned that boxers, like, sometimes they pay fighters, like, they know they're gonna lose, so they pay them, like, better, like, come on here, you're a journeyman, you know what the business is, you're gonna lose. And I can't respect no fight. I don't care if they're boxers. I know boxers want that big nice record. Is all a facade. You know what I'm saying? MMA fighters, we're the real fighters. We don't have padded records. You know what I'm saying? We fight who we fight. You know what I'm saying? It's very rare you see a MMA fighter 30-0 because we fighting everybody from the get go. You know what I'm saying? It's like some of us get thrown to the wolves like I did. You know what I'm saying? I fought the who's who of MMA in my time, and it seems like most of the big names that he fought, he lost to them. Like all the stuff he posted, him devastating and knocking people out in the first round. Like, they ain't nobody. I wouldn't even brag about that because of the internet age, people go look up the guy he fought and see that he's like 0-17, and then he ain't even fought nobody. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, and I saw you guys were doing a podcast. I thought it was kind of interesting because he seemed to be continually almost describing you as a wrestler, and he's like, "Oh, you don't know the finer aspects of this," but you were talking about the Anthony Pettis Roy Jones Jr. fight, and you were like, "Hey, man, don't sleep on the MMA guy. You never know what could happen."
Yeah, we train boxing. They don't train MMA, so this is something he don't realize. I may not be like a great boxer. I may not understand the sweet science of boxing. I might not have all the footwork down. I don't know how to do speed bag, and the double end bag. I don't know all the pretty boxing tricks and stuff like that. So I've been boxing for 14 years. You know what I'm saying? And I know how to punch, and I know how to defend myself, and I'm a fighter. So you know what I'm saying? I know how to get in a dog fight. And I know how to find a way to win when we got to dig deep and win. And this is a big challenge for me. I'm looking for this challenge, and because MMA was getting kind of mundane for me, and so I think I needed to be like, I need to get that fear back, and the nervousness back. I fought like big names, guys I should have been nervous about, and then I wasn't nervous about, and I go out there and didn't even perform, didn't even train hard. So this is something that's it's like it's woken me back up. Like I'm coming back to life, and Shannon, I'm kind of glad that he's overlooking me because it kind of makes my night easier. But then he saw that Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury fight, and then I think that kind of like worried him a little bit. That whoa, maybe these wrestlers really can fight. I'm tired of him calling us pies and everything as well.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned Ngannou. Like, obviously, I'll talk more about this fight, but thought it'd be a bit of an interesting sidebar to maybe get your thoughts on like that whole Ngannou and John Jones interaction from the PFL versus Bellator card. I guess I ask in a context of I feel like you were in one of the bigger cross-promotional MMA fights of all time, like when Chuck Liddell was representing UFC in the Pride Grand Prix. So, like, what are your thoughts on the whole John Jones and Ngannou situation, and as far as like them kind of eyeballing each other, but it doesn't seem like a fight would be imminent, I guess.
Yeah, so I forgot all about that. They was scheduled to fight in the UFC. Styles make fight. I think Francis is more feared in the cage, but John Jones, he's going to figure out a way to get the job done. He has so many tools and stuff like that. I don't see Francis ducking anybody, but honestly,
I hear you. I feel like I'd be remiss though if I didn't get your thoughts on the upcoming Ngannou fight against Anthony Joshua, just because you referenced Ngannou's Tyson Fury performance.
Yeah, so I'm MMA all day. I won't say one bad thing against an MMA fighter when they're going against a boxer. So I'm a fan of Anthony Joshua, but I'm a bigger fan of Francis Ngannou. And so, you know, I'm gonna be optimistic and say Francis is gonna shock the world and knock out AJ, because AJ can be knocked out. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Francis can. I'm sure he's not. I'm sure I'm sure he can be knocked out as well, but we just never seen it. But we seen AJ be vulnerable before with punches and stuff like that, and where it looked like he kind of gave up a little bit against Anthony Ruiz, you know, and a few other, you know, small other numbers like AJ. He's making a big name for himself. He's a great boxer, and you know what I'm saying, he's a great champion. But I think Francis is gonna be too powerful for him.
Yeah, and I mean, shows how much like Saudi Arabia is really, making strides to become bigger and bigger parts of the combat sports space. But it seems like there's similar designs out there for Qatar, like not even just with this event, but at the time of this recording, one championship readying to put on an event over there. Like it seems like this is another space where there's potentially a lot of like big opportunities for various fighters. Like, and it seems like they're looking to do more events beyond this, like later in the summer. Like, are you kind of getting that certain sense from participating in this event that it could be a fruitful thing for a lot of the fighters out there?
Oh yeah, and you know, it's great and it's good for everybody, right? Because one thing about fighting is if one show gets too big, and that means the fighters don't have any negotiating power. And now that the Middle East, Saudi, and Qatar, they stepping up, and they're paying fighters well, and they really taking care of fighters. And I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know if this off the record or on the record, you know what I'm saying? But the guys I've been dealing with,
yeah,
the guys I've been dealing with in Qatar, man, I'm telling you, they next level. Like SDK, I really respect this man. He showed me a different side of business, and with the level of respect, and you know what I'm saying, an honor that he even the way he talked, and I'm learning business just by talking to this guy, just talking to him. And you don't get that, you don't see that often over here. Like first thing comes, what I've learned with dealing with promoters, I really don't like talking to him. I let my manager talk to him. I don't want to get a relationship with him, because as soon as they get that in that power position, here comes the ego. Now you're dealing with the ego, and they want to remind you about your last loss and how many losses you got. Like, what they got to do with me entertaining the fans and stuff, right? So you got to do that. Your first fight is with the promoters. But when I talk to SDK and Osama, it's like the first thing they told me, like, look, we on the same team, where our job is to put on an exciting event. I'm like, yeah. I like that, because that's what I always stood for. I always stood for putting on an exciting event, and I made a lot of organizations a lot of money, pay-per-view dollars, you know what I'm saying, and ticket sales, and I just don't feel like I was like respected for that, or you know what I'm saying. I just feel like I was taken advantage of, and right away these guys let me know that I had a sense of feeling like these guys are going to be fair, and this is good for all athletes, all different types of fighters, boxers, and everything. People like Osama and SDK. You know what I'm saying? We need more promoters and stuff like these guys. And I wish the American fighters and the Canadian fighters, the Japanese fighters, the Brazilian fighters, and the fighters all over around the world could get an experience with promoters like these two guys.
Yeah, no, good to hear you're being treated so well. Definitely deserved. And it's kind of interesting how the card is kind of shaping out, because it seems like there's certain connections to you, even just with like that Czech Congo versus Fabio Maldonado fight. Someone like Congo, who, former teammate, longtime friend, it seems like, and Maldonado being a former opponent. So cool to see how the card is kind of shaping out too.
Yeah. We also got Shannon Briggs versus Daryl Schonauer, which he was on the Ultimate Fighter with me, and me and him don't see eye to eye, because I gave him a horrible nickname that now I feel bad about all these years later. Now everybody calls him Titties, and he hates me for that. So that's actually one of my grudges. So if Titties beat Shannon gonna fight him and set him up, um, set him up for good. And I do feel bad that I gave him the nickname Titties. So if he beats me, I would never call him Titties again. So up until then, I'm calling him Titties. So that fight, that's fight I'm really excited about. And then my friend Brian Rose, he's fighting for a belt. I don't know which belt, nothing like that. I didn't pay attention, but he's very happy to be fighting for a belt. I think it's only a few matches on the card. They're just strictly boxers fighting each other. Everybody else is like some type of boxing, because like Shannon Briggs is a bare knuckle boxing champion, and Fabio Babo, even though I fought him in the UFC, he just knocked out somebody in four rounds this weekend. In boxing, he's been boxing for a while, and so he's a boxer and an MMA fighter. And Chet Congo is an MMA fighter and a kickboxer. So that's why that matchup is what I think was going to be really exciting to see how boxing, MMA / boxing, kickboxing, how they match up against each other.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too, and I guess just with like the Daryl fight you kind of alluded to there, like does that fit within some of your, I guess, targeted future fights you'd like to have with like Rashad Evans and Vanderlei Silva that I've heard you mention in some interviews, and as far as like that would also be under boxing rules?
Right. I would like to box everybody that beat me. I want to box everybody that beat me. I don't know if they would take it, but yeah, I want to get them out there because I'm 45 years old. It's harder to do like MMA camps and stuff with your knees and everything. Thank God I got Bio Accelerator on my side to give me stem cells. I'm actually going to go there before this fight with Shannon and get me some stem cells and stuff like that. Then after my fight, I'm gonna do another round and put them all on my knees and stuff like that. But still, you know what I'm saying? That being said, I would rather box them because most of these guys are wrestlers, and that's all they're gonna count on is just wrestling, trying to hold me down. And boxing is gonna be more exciting. So I want to get Titties out the way. Vanderlei Silva, Rashad Evans. I want to get Alex Teixeira, Chael Sonnen. What's the guy that just got knocked out by that big Brazilian guy and PFL?
Ryan Bader.
Ryan Bader. I want to get him. Fedor. I owe him another fight because it wasn't me when I fought him. I wasn't myself. I was injured, and I owe a rubber match to Marvin Eastman. Believe it or not, my first fight in UFC. Because
oh yeah.
That was a rematch. I owe him one more match in boxing. So those are a lot of fights, and some of those fights I might have to fight two of them in the same night.
Yeah, no, it's just taking me back a bit. Like I remember when you like entered the UFC and had that Eastman fight. I remember like telling all my boys in high school, I'm like, oh, this Rampage guy is gonna be the champion, and they're like, no, what are you talking about, man? Chuck's always gonna be the champion. And obviously, no disrespect to Chuck, a legend in his own right, but just kind of taking me back a little bit.
Oh wow, that's crazy that you knew that. And damn, it's also crazy that you was in high school, so at the same time kissed my motherfucking ass for trying to make me sound like I'm old.
No, you just been no, you just been in the game for a bit. It's exciting though that you were talking earlier about like just that renewed kind of fire, like you talked about in some of the MMA fights. Like maybe that certain fire wasn't there to get out there and fight some of these guys, but it seems like boxing has really given you that certain reignited kind of fire, and it seems like you have a lot of different opponents in mind. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I have a whole list of ass kickings to pass around. I like boxing. I've always wanted to box once I learned boxing, and just imagine if I kick all these guys' ass, then I want to go and fight some real boxers. I want to call out Wilder toothpick leg ass, and then Anthony Joshua after Francis Ngannou take care of him, and then anybody else that want it, anybody else that want it. When I get all these grudge matches out of the way, or we can mix them in. I don't care. I want to be like George Foreman, show the world that age ain't nothing but a number. Like I said, I got Bio Accelerator with me with the stem cells in Colombia, and that's my secret weapon. They keeping me young, and now I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm getting healthy and stuff. I finally figure out what was my health issue, and when I fought Fedor, Coach Cal. He's a great scientist. It was just that it was unfortunate that I found out too late, right before that fight, and now I fixed everything, and I got like a great team around me. My coach, Bobby Rimmer, is my boxing coach, and then I teamed up with a fitness mogul, Sean Reyes. He changed my life. He got me in good shape and everything, and I'm just loving life and stuff right now. And I want to kick a lot of asses, and starting with Shannon Briggs because he called me out. So Shannon Briggs, then I'm gonna kick the shit out of titties, and then I want Vanderlei Silva or Rashad Evans, then Marvin Eastman, then whoever else on that list that wants to come and get their ass kicked. I think some of them will be scared.
No, it's exciting to hear so many great options for you, for sure, man. But I mean, I kind of referenced that prior, capturing of the light heavyweight title to sort of put it in a context of, I guess, getting your thoughts on that upcoming UFC 300 fight as Alex Pereira defends his light heavyweight title against Jamahal Hill. Like, what are your thoughts on that particular fight?
Well, I don't know if I ever seen Jamahal Hill fight. I'm not sure if I've seen him fight, but I've seen Alex Pereira fight like 2 times. I saw him fight Izzy. And the first time I saw Izzy almost knock him out, but he was saved by the bell. And then the second time he fought Izzy, I saw Izzy knock him out the same way Izzy almost knocked him out the first time. And so I thought that Pereira was a weight class bully. And so I'm glad to see that he went up a weight class. And I'm interested to see how he does in his own weight class. He was way too big to be fighting. Man, the 85 has got big. Wow. That being said, I met Izzy in Saudi Arabia for the first time, and he was towering over me, a 185 pounder. I was like, what is the world coming to? These guys are getting bigger and bigger. He looked like a solid heavyweight, and so I'm excited to see how Pierre do against Jamahal Hill. I love my country. I love the whole world. I love my country. So since I live in this country, so I have to go against my country. I had to go with my countryman and say that I'd be rooting for Jamahal Hill, but I wouldn't be surprised if Alex Pereira take the win.
But yeah, no. I guess just one thing I wanted to touch on, because I was seeing some different interviews you were doing leading into this event, and you were saying like, oh, none of my kids have been out to see me fight, but you were saying your oldest son might come out to this one. Is that something that you have confirmation on? Like, is that an important kind of thing for you? It would seem like it would be cool if the precedent has been like they haven't been to the fights before, I guess.
Yeah, none of my kids ever came to any of my fights, and we don't really talk about fight. I think my kids actually forgot that I'm a fighter. It's not something that I don't bring work home. They see me going to the gym, stuff like the kids and stuff like that. They've been to the gyms with me. My 2 older ones, I was a single parent with them. They grew up with me in the gym, stuff like that, but they never came to the fight. But I would love for my kids to come to my fight. Since the fight is June 8th, I'm not sure what day I have my youngest daughter is still in school. I don't know what day she get out of school, but I think that all 3 of my boys could at least be there. This time I would love for them to come there and sit front row and see their dad. Go out and have fun doing what he loves and stuff like that. So that'd be a beautiful thing for me. It'd be like memories for them when I go to heaven and stuff. Because right now I got a lot of memorabilia stuff for them, and they don't give a about it. I got belts and trophies and all these pictures and magazines and stuff, and fight outfits and stuff, and they don't even ask about them. They don't even care.
I guess that's part of being a parent, like kind of seeing your kids develop their own interests and try to like glean something from that a little bit, I suppose, right?
Yeah, that. They should be interested in me. I'm like, that. They ain't gonna get. Look, you only get one set of parents. I get more kids. I can make more kids to be interested in me if they don't want to be interested in me. You know what I'm saying? I'm at a time in my life where if you don't with me, you. Even if you came from me, I'll make some more motherfucking kids, and they better be interested in my career. They better want to come to all my fights and watch all my fights and call me champ.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll make some new kids. I'll go all around the world, make some new kids. What part of Canada you in? I know you in Canada. I come to Canada. I come to your country and make some kids.
I just appreciate you knowing I'm from Canada. I feel like everyone assumes I'm American, so I appreciate you knowing that, I guess.
Yeah, I'm aware traveler, buddy. I can tell you from Canada.
Something in the accent?
What part are you from? Don't let me say Toronto.
I live in a place called Oshawa. It's about 45 minutes outside of Toronto.
Yeah. That's why you sound like you're from Toronto.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you knowing that all the same, but I do want to be mindful of your time, man. I mean, I imagine you have a few things on the go for sure. I just appreciate you giving some time to talk, but, just figured I'd give you the floor if maybe there was a final parting thought you wanted to add as we were kind of wrapping up.
The one thing I do want to add is this message is only to Rampage fans all over the world, whoever listening. This message, I want you to put it in there just like this. This message isn't for all MMA fans, all boxing fans. This message is for Rampage fans. Guys, I know I'm older and I'm doing what I love, and I haven't been able to entertain you guys for 4 years. I had to get my health back in order, and COVID kind of had me depressed for a while because I love the world, whether you guys know it or not, and so many of the people I love was dying and getting sick and everything, and I didn't know how to deal with that, and the whole world was sick, and I really do love everybody. That's why I try to entertain everybody and keep everybody laughing. I just think a lot of times I'm misunderstood. Some people call me a bully, some people call me cocky, some people call me a dick, but what I really do is just try to be a comedian and just spread positive vibes by making fun of myself and every other people around me just to get laughs. And so I love everybody, and the message I want to give to my MMA fans and Rampage fans is if you like being entertained by me, if you truly like it and you truly like to see me fight and try to make all my losses right by knocking them out with boxing, just don't pirate the pay-per-view. Just pay for the pay-per-view. It's not super expensive. If you can't afford, it's not in your budget, call a couple of your boys over and you guys make a pay-per-view party, and you guys get together, you guys chip in and you guys watch it together, because a lot of people are pirating pay-per-view, and I understand it, saying why people do it. Free is always better for some people, but you're not supporting the cause. And if that keep going, if people keep pirating the pay-per-view, then there are going to be a lot less shows, but people not going to be able to afford to put on fights and stuff like that. That's how you support the fighter. So this is their first time doing a show in Qatar, and if you guys show your support by purchasing the pay-per-view, they can gauge about how much pool we got and see if they can would like to put on the more boxing matches with me in it. So if you guys like my entertainment, you want to see me continue fighting and stuff in boxing and everything, buy the pay-per-view. And if you're not a Rampage fan, I can't tell you what to do. So if you can put that in there, basically like I said, like how I said it, because that's my message to the Rampage fans.
Yeah, no, I love that, man, and really excited for this looming pro boxing debut against Shannon Briggs June 8th in Qatar and everything like that. So yeah, super stoked for this one and really appreciate you making some time, man. You enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm looking forward to checking out the fight when it goes down.
All right, thank you. Hopefully you'll be in Qatar covering the event. I can meet you live.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping to be there. So yeah, it'd be great to meet up and do an interview there.
Yeah. Ask Osama if you could come, and if they want you to come and do some press and stuff like that, and that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be great, man. But yeah, to reiterate, thanks so much for the time. Definitely a guy I've enjoyed watch fight over the years. And yeah, have a good day, man.